Welcome back, boys and girls. It's time to teach you another lesson or a little bit of history, right? It's your boy Hebot coming back at you, and I'm going to talk about real quick in this video the difference between console war and calling out bull crap. And I really get really fed up and tired and aggravated every time I see people trying to tell other people, oh, stop console warring, it's just plastic boxes, it's this, it's that. Listen, plastic boxes are what's encased inside the technology, okay? No toy costs $500, all right? And that's what I've always tried to tell my brother E-Rock. No shade towards him, just, we've had that discussion before. But I agree with what he says as far as that it is to do something that it's, to have fun, to play. So in that sense, it feels like, yeah, it is a toy, but it's not because it's a $500 piece of equipment. It's just in a plastic box. But the console war my brother E-Rock talks about is when they get toxic and retarded and ignorant to the point where they're offensive with people personally, attack their family or them personally, saying things that, about their physicality, or saying things about them, saying they're ugly or that they're gay or something like that, right? That's when it gets out of hand and it's stupid and unnecessary and unwarranted and really, to be honest, doesn't have a place in gaming, because gaming has never been divisive, ever. Gaming started socially in the arcades, and in the arcades we never questioned somebody about playing a game in the arcades because the size of their hands, because the color of their skin, because they were a woman, because they were a little kid, or because they were a grandmother. No, that was never the case. The arcades always it brought people together to have a good time after they did something like eat or went to a movie theater, right? And it was all kinds of people of all ages and all ethnicity and all types of gender. It was never, I didn't tell a person because the person, let's say, was gay, you can't play a game. That was stupid. We never looked at those things. We never paid attention. That was never existed. That's real. That's not real. That's false narratives that they try to push today, that gaming is not inclusive and that it's not, that is divided. That's not true. Now, where racism and stuff like that exists is when you play online with little kids that are stupid, ignorant, and they'll go, or ignorant people that are older, that are ignorant, and they'll know a person's black, for example, and say, oh, fuck you, you nigger, or something stupid like that. That's racism. That's different. That has to be stopped. That has to be put to the side. Now, console warring is calling out the bullcrap. Okay, that's real console warring, where you call out all the dumb ignorance, false information, narrative pushing that's not real, or when something is misconstrued and people don't know the right information. And shout out to my brother Unlimited One Production. He did a really awesome video showing these highlights of these articles with these news people, news outlets, putting things like, oh, Xbox still not going to have no exclusives for a long time, when that's not true. Because we all see already this year, we got games coming like Scorn, Gunk, Ascent, Forza Horizon 5, which we did not even know, Halo Infinite. And still, the word is that we're getting other stuff like, Bright Memory Infinite and Crossfire X. Regardless whether they're timed exclusive or not, they're still exclusives. You can only play them on an Xbox console or an Xbox ecosystem on PC or via your, devices if you're playing on xCloud. If it's supported, because not all games are on xCloud. Now, the point I'm trying to say, that is the actual essence and real reason or real form of console war. Okay, when one company does better than the other, or something's better than the other because the other company shows that they know how to do it better, or that they care more about the gaming community or gamers or the culture. Like back in the day, Sega did the best games, not only at home but in the arcades as well. Nintendo never really published anything or created anything in the arcades. And if they did publish it, it was because another developer that they would not own was doing it. Like Irem, for example, when they published R-Type. right? Something like that, right? Sega did all their things themselves. Sega did not, copy off other people. They were the innovators. They were the ones that actually paved the way for creative ideas that others copied, like Virtual Fighter, and then Tekken came along, or with games like Outrun or Daytona, and then we had other things come along like, Ridge Racer. Okay? Those were the console wars that we did, that we called out back then. We were doing the gaming thing, or in the gaming scene back then, right? That's how we console warred. That was the whole essence. And now it's calling out the bullcrap. Like Nintendo and Sony are nowhere near on the level of Xbox as far as consumer friendly, products or to their fan base. They just aren't. They're very anti-consumer, and they don't care about their fan base. They make you buy the stuff over and over again. They don't really help you out. Like in the case of Nintendo, since they changed their format with the Switch, you completely had to buy every single game that you bought on the Wii all over again. And not even their digital storefront, which is the same digital store in the Wii shop or the Nintendo shop, right? You were not able to play the games that you purchased on your Wii on your Nintendo Switch, which that's bullcrap, because it's digital. It's off servers. There's no way in hell that you're not able to play them. Instead, you rebuy another Bayonetta or whatever other games you bought digitally. That's anti-consumer. Very anti-consumer. Okay? Or Sony with the things that they do, that they're making you buy, $70 games for next generation, because they don't want to make it unified where you can still play your games on PS4 for free, on PS5 with free upgrades, with just the exception of whatever they decide to boost by unlocking or leaving it unlocked, and then the console boosts it on its own, not with an actual patch, putting in work to make it better, whether it's resolution, textures, lighting, HDR implementation, Dolby Atmos implementation, whatever, like Xbox is doing with their games. When you play them via, forward compatible, they play better because they actually put work into them. They're patching them. That's calling out bullcrap. That's console war at its finest. And that's the difference between console warring over being a fanatic and just being ignorant and being a tool, basically, by being disrespectful or toxic or being this, dumb or nasty with people, calling them names or getting personal. That's not the console war that is supposed to be, that people talk about when promoting, especially somebody like myself, okay? I don't talk about, that's not console warring. Console warring is calling out the bull crap, or when others do better because they care, you give them the props that they deserve, like in this case Microsoft, that they actually care. Unlimited Production did a video showing that there's these outlets doing videos saying that Forza Horizon 5 might come to PlayStation or PS4 and PS5, when they're not, because they're Xbox exclusives from first-party developers. And the only reason they keep doing that is because they try to push the narrative, that all Xbox games are coming to other next-gen consoles because of Ori, or because of Super Lucky Tales, or because of Cuphead, when those were games that they made deals with these developers to put them exclusive on the Xbox console, and they were supposed to give them there exclusively as a lifetime exclusive with these developers, and instead the developers decided to say, hey, well, we want to make more money because they see that these other consoles have also all this popularity, so they wanted to chase the money, or the bag, as you speak, right? Which is understandable, because both of them, or the three of them, Playful Games and Studio MDHR, for example, and Moon Studios are fairly new, right? They're still small, they need to grow. Saying that, they wanted to put their games there, and so Microsoft said, okay, fine, no problem, but we're not going to make no more. We're not going to publish no more of your games, because we gave you the money to publish it, to fund it, to market it, and bring it out exclusive on our console, and yet you're worrying about putting it somewhere else with another company that gave you not one dime to make the games. And that's why now Moon Studios' next game is not being published by Microsoft. Studio MDHR's next game is not being published by Microsoft. Same thing with Playful Games. Their game's not being published by Microsoft. Okay? The way it did when it first came on Xbox One with Super Lucky's Tales. Right? Even PUBG, for that matter. They do these little timed exclusives with these people, and these people have no loyalty because all they're worrying about is chasing the bag instead of having an opportunity to grow and get bigger and get recognition through time by working and earning their stripes like all these other older developers have. Okay? And in that sense, I've always said I've respected developers that work with Sony, because a lot of those guys, they never been owned by Sony, but because Sony gave them an opportunity for the very first time, right, or allowed them to have their hits for the first time on their console, they stayed true and loyal to that brand, like Insomniac, like Naughty Dog, like Guerrilla Games, like Sony Bend, and to even Housemarque, that they're not even owned by them, they still make all their games to PlayStation. Okay? Because loyalty goes a long way. Like I said, it's about the perception and the gratitude. And all these people out here act like Microsoft is their babysitter or their grandfather, and they take the opportunities that's given to them and then want to run along somewhere else and benefit and give benefit to other people or other consoles, another fan or another fan base that didn't help and didn't care. Like the guy from the Mediums, the Bloober team, right? These guys, these were the same people saying that the game was average, that it wasn't great, that it was garbage, that it was this, that it was that. Meanwhile, Xbox guys said, no, you're wrong. The game is actually very good. It may be something that's not for everyone because it's a horror genre style game and it's like a murder mystery platformer, but it's still a good game, right? Because every game has its audience, its niche. Not everybody likes RTXs, and not everybody else likes the Dark Souls games as well, for example. So to sit there and try to act like, oh, you're just console warring because you're a fanatic of a company is pretty dumb, pretty misinformed, and pretty stupid. For people to say that and to think that. No, console wars need to exist because it's going to call out what's being done that's wrong by others. The difference is that people want a console war when it comes to Microsoft and Xbox, saying false information, lies, fake narratives, when they know damn well it's not real, just to make Microsoft look bad, because they don't like them, because most of these people grew up with Nintendo and Sony, right? And they think that because they were the ones that they grew up with, that no one else can play in ball in the field or in the actual gaming world. When Microsoft has earned their stripes, they never went in there bullying nobody the way that Sony did from the very beginning, from its very inception. Microsoft slowly and little by little established relationships and started in the PC space and tried to earn their stripes. Until this day, they still don't get the respect that they deserve and the recognition that they deserve for moving gaming forward and evolving it and making it go forward the way Sega did. That's why I've always considered them an evolution, or the next coming after Sega was no longer in the picture. Okay? And that's why my brother Limited, for example, is already getting frustrated, because he sees it more and more and more. And I'm glad that he sees it, and I'm glad that many others are starting to see it, even the influencers in the YouTube scene, because the more and more they see it, the more and more the narrative will change. The more and more eyes will be open. The more and more that people will realize that was really dumb and misinformed. But a lot of these guys, they still do it because, to be honest, they don't care. All they care about is making money by creating fake narratives and clickbaiting. So they don't care if it comes at the expense of making Microsoft look bad or anything like that, because the way they see it, but Microsoft don't pay my bills. Okay, that's fine, but you're lying to your audience. You're not being responsible or having a responsibility to your audience. Just like I did a video a few weeks ago saying, listen, Microsoft, you need to learn to be more aggressive with your third-party exclusive deals, the way that Sony is. Sony does exclusive third-party deals with companies and developers that last a year and a half, 2 years, while you do exclusive deals that only last 8 months, 6 months, 2 months, 3 months. No, especially in a time when the Xbox Series X first-party games are not always going to be out and about right away, because they're still in very early stages due to the fact that you just bought most of these studios. Like, I salute Ninja Theory, because Ninja Theory started on Xbox with Kung Fu Chaos, and they recognized that, and they told Xbox, can we keep our creative freedom? And they said yes, and they joined Xbox Studios. That's what loyalty is about. Like Remedy. Remedy didn't do shit, only in the PC space with Max Payne. And then, when they came to console space, it was Microsoft that nurtured them, that gave them all the freedom and helped them and gave them all their space and time, because Microsoft saw the potential and they took it, they funded them, they helped them create their new Source Light engine. And at the end of the day, they went and became a public trade company and didn't even allow Microsoft probably to buy them, because at that time Microsoft probably couldn't pay them a lot of money, right? But yet they let Tencent, that's not American, right, because they're Finnish, have a certain percentage of stake in their in ownership in their, as them as a developer, which is retarded, because it was Microsoft who gave you all the time in the world and helped you with your game, even though your games did not sell well enough, because it came out at a time where people were still hating on Microsoft, or because they didn't respect Microsoft, or they didn't know who you were. They didn't know and realize, hey, the guys who did Alan Wake was the guys who did Max Payne, or the guys who did, Quantum Break were the guys who did, Alan Wake. Now, because they're not under Microsoft's wing, now everybody wants to act like they're Remedy fans. Oh, we love Control, it's amazing, when it's their weakest game since Max Payne 1. Just like, oh my God, we can't wait to see what else they're gonna do. But what happened? Now they're doing Crossfire X exclusive again, which probably Microsoft is also funding, and that's why it's exclusive. The story mode in Crossfire X for the Xbox. So, that's what I wanted to talk about. You guys got to understand, console warring and calling out bullcrap is the type of console warring that needs to exist. Because if we stay quiet, it's just going to continue to go on that way. We're going to keep seeing these fake articles saying Forza's coming, or saying Starfield's still going to not be exclusive, or that Microsoft is lying, and all that other stuff. It's going to continue. It's going to continue if you do not call it out. And that's part of console wars. Microsoft games have longevity, have great gameplay and mechanics. They have co-op campaign. They have multiplayer components. They have diversity in every genre, right? They have story-driven games, right, in their games as well. They cover all the bases. They have fighters, shooters, racers, okay? They have all types of games. They're probably missing maybe, action adventures and action adventure like sci-fi or fantasy, like let's say something like, let's say God of War, which they had in Ninja Blade with From Software and didn't go back and visit it because probably From Software didn't want to do it. And which, they have, or something like Tomb Raider, for example, which they can do with Perfect Dark or something else that they have under their wing if they give it to the right people. So again, I'm tired of hearing people say, oh no, console war is stupid. No, console war, being disrespectful and toxic to people and being disgusting, is bad. Yes, absolutely. It has no place in gaming. But console warring and call out bullcrap when another company is doing better than another, or when another company is anti-consumer than another, or when another company does nothing but smokes and mirrors compared to the other, saying they're going to do this and going to do that. And really what they're doing is counter-reacting to whatever the other company's doing. Like in this case, Microsoft, whatever they do, Sony counter-reacts in most cases, 90% of the time. Or when Nintendo doesn't get called out just because they were first in the scene back in the day, like they never did anything anti-consumer when they're the ones who started this whole anti-consumer movement, when they were trying to have people and developers only do games on their platform, and it could be only a certain amount. They couldn't go to another company because if not, they would get sued and they would take their fucking IPs. Basically pushing developers to the side. And not until Tengen came out through the freaking Namco with all the illegal stuff they did through another country, that they weren't able to fight that today, now we have the ability to have multi-plats from other developers that don't want to be owned or that are owned by other people. Well, you guys won't know that because you guys don't know anything about gaming. You want to talk, but most of you don't know your history and don't do your research anyway. And it's all public record. You can find it easily. So again, like I said, that's the difference between console warring and calling out the BS, which is the true essence of console wars. All right, guys, I'll see you very soon. Let me get a thumbs up. If you liked the video, let me get a thumbs down. If you didn't like the video, it's your choice. I really don't care. It doesn't hurt me. And let me know what you think down in the comments below of your thoughts of my topic of what I was talking about. And as always, share the video with someone you think might like the video. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you like what I do and you subscribe, I really appreciate it because I know you didn't have to, but since you did, remember, I'll consider you now part of my family. And for all you that always keep rocking out and keep giving me your blessings and helping me out and supporting me, I love you very much because without you, my channel will never be anything. It will not be sustained. It will be nothing. Thank you. Always, I'm grateful for you. Find me on social media on Instagram on the C_respect or on Twitter when I go back. If you guys ever want to hit me up on a DM, you can do it there. If you want to do anything like a donation or you want me to highlight something or review something on my channel, it would be an honor. It would be my pleasure. I will be more than happy to do so. It would be an honor to do so, right? Like I said. If you guys ever want to help my channel out in any way, shape, or form because you want to help me grow it and make it better, listen. There's a way to do it. It's all down in the description below with my PayPal and my Patreon. It's all if you want to, from the kindness of your heart, and if you have the means to, and if you really want to help. It's not obligated. If you want to find me on any other social media or gaming platforms, I'm on PlayStation Network under Outfell from Sky, and on Xbox Live and the Nintendo Network under HeBot8. Alright guys, I'll talk to you very soon. Love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.